Hey guys, it's Gregory Alba here, your fellow reject, and I have with me today
Wendy Lee
from Collider Videos and the Movie Couple channel. Wendy is highly intelligent, super articulate, very fast in her thoughts, quick-witted.
I feel like they're going to be disappointed now. You're building me up.
No, I don't believe in overselling anyone.
You'll see.
You'll see. So we're going to do our top 10 favorite movies of the summer of 2016. Those are all the movies from the months of May to August in 2016. I'll kick this off. My number 10 is Finding Dory. Finding Dory was nice. It wasn't like a surprise in any capacity, and it wasn't exactly like completely original. However, it was like a great family film. I was really impressed with Ellen DeGeneres in that film because I remember when I heard it and even saw the trailer, I was like, how are they really gonna make Dory from a supporting character to a lead? And I thought she was a great lead. They had a great character there named Hank, played by Ed O'Neill, who was hilarious. Reminded me of my dad a little bit.
Aww.
And I really like, the animation was really fun, and I really love, I don't know, themes about family and identity. That gets to me, and you know, finding your home and the home within yourself too, and it's really about the loved ones. That was a great cheesy time, and yeah, highly recommend it. Pixar wins again.
You know, I had my doubts about that movie when I first heard it was Finding Dory because, like you said, how are they going to make a secondary character from the first movie?
Yeah.
I thought I was going to find Dory in large doses really, really annoying.
Yeah.
But I love the movie.
Yeah, they managed to really flesh her out in a way where you're like, I enjoy watching her. I mean, I was kind of disappointed what they did with Nemo and Marlin because I thought they were kind of just unnecessary throughout the whole movie.
Yeah.
But it was still really cool to see like Ellen DeGeneres, like that little marketing move of making her the lead actually worked.
For my number 10, whoops, I'm about to airdrop the note to somebody else. My number 10 was Jason Bourne.
Did not make my list. Whoa.
Well, I liked it because, and I know a lot of people didn't like it, but I'm such a big fan of the original Bourne. I read the book and I love Matt Damon. It was nice to see everybody come back to this franchise and just kind of live through a good, feel-good action movie, you know, watch him do some kung fu, some fighting with the guns, some tactical stuff, you know?
Yeah, I mean, it's cool to see him come back and the fighting is there. I was pretty let down by that film.
I think my anticipation was very high for it, but I don't feel like that they failed. In a sense. Yeah. Really? I felt like I still
to each
delivered.
Their own opinion.
This is true.
Part of the great democracy in America.
I will say this, Alicia Vikander.
Yes.
What's up with her accent in the movie? Is she supposed to be American or is she supposed to be Irish? Because she sounded like a mix of both to me.
Pissed me off.
I agree with you, Wendy.
Thanks, John. My shoulder angel.
I could not get over how disappointing that film was. With that said, that's Wendy's number 10, but that's okay. My number 9 choice, I'm going with a comedy here. My number 9 choice is Central Intelligence. I really, really enjoyed that film. I know I did like some gigs with them to help promote Central Intelligence, the Blu-ray release. Some web series you can see on Warner Brothers Home Entertainment page and uploaded on this channel too.
Ooh.
Did you see it? You ever see that? Yeah. Did with Mark Ellis and Josh McCouga?
Oh, I heard about that when they did the CIA training.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah, Josh, he did like, he had the gun, he was like, I'm like, you know, no one uses that gun sideways. He's like, but I look cool.
Josh in real life is exactly what you'd imagine it to be like.
100%.
It is like hanging out with Josh on camera. It's 100% the same dude.
100%.
Dude, it's just a goofball, man. Anyway, Central Intelligence, it's not like the most clever film or necessarily the most witty. It's one of those films that really is just really great because of The Rock and Kevin Hart. We're talking about summer movies here, and if you want to go watch a movie that you just want to laugh with the whole time, and I found myself cracking up throughout the entire film. I thought it was fucking hilarious. Did you see it?
I didn't get the chance to see it,
You're
so
missing
now I'm gonna
out.
have to red box it.
I saw it last week, and I made it on this list.
Nice.
Got the Blu-ray.
It probably would have made it on my list if I actually saw it.
It's fucking funny.
I like The Rock a lot. I met him when I was 18 at the Cheesecake Factory. It was on my birthday. I didn't know who he was, and I was trying to get my waitress's attention because I wanted like a family photo for my 18th birthday, and she was like leaning against the wall, just like staring at him, dreamy, and I was like, who is this guy? My godfather said, that's The Rock. Who? The Rock, the wrestler. What kind of the name is The Rock anyways? And I was all frustrated and pouting, and then he stands up, and you know, he's tall, so I was like, oh, I just offended him. I just totally offended him about his name. And he's like, with the smile, I can take that picture for you. And I was like, okay.
Is he dreamy?
Oh my God, totally. He smiled, and I was like, oh, okay, I'm your fan now. I don't even know what you do.
You can be into a guy that buff?
Totally.
That, really?
Wouldn't
wow.
you?
What did I? I'm more of a Kevin Hart kind of guy. I like him small and slender.
Aww. good things comes in small packages.
Yeah, that's what they always tell me too. Okay. Wendy, you're next. Number 9.
My number 9 is Star Trek Beyond. So while I am a Star Wars girl through and through, I seriously love the rehash, the newer Star Trek. I actually really quite enjoy Chris Pines in these series. I wasn't really sure about him in the very beginning. I was like, him, Captain Kirk, really? I'm not sure. But I've completely fallen in love with the franchise, and I also love Zachary Quinto.
Yeah, he's fucking awesome.
I'm such a fan. So I love everything they've done, and I think this is probably the best one, I think.
Star Trek Beyond did not make my list too, but it's generally loved by people.
I kind of like that we have very contrasting movies.
I feel like we'll get some similar films in soon.
Yes.
Let's find out. My number 8, here is where the world turns against the real rejects. But maybe that's why we're called the real rejects. Maybe it's a gimmick, who knows? Ghostbusters, the one with all the chicks. I really enjoyed that film. I thought it was really funny, and I was one of those people who was very much opposed against it. Even when I saw the trailers, I was ready to hate this film. No, it's not better than the first one at all. It's not even one of my favorite movies of this year, but in terms of the summer movies, I had a really good time. I laughed my ass off throughout. Chris Hemsworth is hilarious in the film.
Yes.
He is hysterical. God, there's something special when like a guy who normally does serious roles does a comedy.
Yeah.
You know, like when
And he
James
can pull it
Franco
off.
did Pineapple Express,
Yeah.
or when Channing Tatum did 21 Jump Street, and now let's see like Chris Hemsworth doing that.
I would like to see Chris Hemsworth in more roles. And while that movie didn't make my list, I still very much enjoyed it. Dustin and I got bashed on our channel just for saying that we liked the movie. I'm like, well, why can't I like this movie? And they're saying, what do we say? That we're SJWs and that we're feminists and we're just afraid of being name called. And I was like, well, I'm getting name called right now, so what does it matter? If I hate the movie, I don't like the movie, so let's just be out with it. I liked it. I had fun with it.
And Rotten Tomatoes is biased against DC. These are all true.
And Collider is being bought off by Marvel.
Exactly.
I see it in the
This is
comments
all
every day.
true. All facts.
Sure.
All facts. You guys are right.
For my number 8, it's a horror movie. It's Lights Out.
Lights Out. That is on my list a little bit higher up, but let's hear what you guys say.
I love that they turned a 2-minute short into a full feature movie, and I was like, how can they do this? Because the creature was already established and she only exists in the dark. I've never felt so uncomfortable coming out of the movie, walking back into my dark apartment and wanting to flick on all the lights and sleep with all the lights on, which I did for the first 2 nights.
Really?
Yeah.
It did that to you? I haven't had a horror movie really. I mean, this movie's high on my list.
Supernatural things like that really freak me out, and I know like a creature like this would never technically exist. It made me think, and sometimes you click that light off and you see a shadow, you're like, what was that? And you turn it on, and then sometimes you just want to leave it off because some things are just meant to be seen.
Did you grow up religious?
No.
No?
No.
I mean, I grew up religious, and that's why that shit can scare me.
I believe it.
I'm not religious currently.
Yeah.
I think it shows in my attitude and personality and who I am overall as a human being. I don't know why I said that with such a smile. Anyway.
Because you believe in it.
Because I believe in that demon things can happen. Yeah. I actually never saw the short. Did you see the short?
You need to do a reaction to the short. Are you kidding me?
I've never seen the short.
No, we need to do this right after that. I'm not even kidding. I'm taking over the real rejects. John, get it ready.
My number 7 choice, I put down a horror. Yeah, it's a horror movie. The Shallows. Did you see that?
I didn't get to see it.
I really
wanted to, though.
enjoyed this movie. Blake Lively, I thought, did an amazing job. It's kind of questionable when you first see the trailer, because you're like, is she just going to be eye candy? You know, like, yeah, she's hot, she's in a bikini the whole movie. About like 20 minutes in, when like the shark stuff actually starts happening, that's not eye candy anymore. Now you just got like a vulnerable woman who's just like half naked, surrounded like on a rock, and there's a shark trying to get her. And I thought it was very cleverly scripted. It gets a little like B horror movie and a little cheesy towards the last half of the film, but I still thought it was a great movie. And I thought Blake Lively like totally nailed the role, and I was wildly impressed. There's no shark that was ever used on set.
Right.
So to see a movie with such emotional depth of the actress and to know that's all imagination, like nothing to work off of, very impressive film.
I agree.
Primarily her performance is why I recommend it.
I totally agree. I wish I had seen it. I was busy, so I didn't get to go to the screening, and then I just kind of moved on. But yeah, I agree with you. I think being the only actress in the movie, you have nothing, not a human, not even like a tennis ball to play against, that's not feeding you any sort of emotion.
Yeah.
It's hard. So I applaud her for her work in this movie.
You know how Jaws, like they said, that'll scare you from going to the beach again? This movie will scare you from traveling on your own to a Spanish-speaking country and going to a secluded beach and then
Going
surfing way out into the middle of that water.
Pass.
That's the tagline right there. That's what they should have said.
Don't travel.
Yeah, don't travel.
Brought to you by the Shallows. All right, my number 7 is also another horror movie. It's The Conjuring 2.
That's on my list as well.
Yeah, what
mine
number
are just
is
a
it?
little higher.
Okay.
Yeah, mine's much higher. Yeah, okay.
Whoops. All right.
Let's hear it.
James Wan, man, I cannot wait to see more horror movies from this man. It seriously creeped me out, and a lot of the effects that they had effects in this movie, SFX, in this movie, really just had me convinced that the kids were seeing this, the mom was seeing this, especially the Crooked Man.
Yo.
He was my favorite, and I seriously was wishing that they would have a spin-off for the Crooked Man eventually.
Oh, it already has its own little cinematic universe.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And of course, the nun, super scary in the room with the painting when the nun popped out. Oh my god! I think when I get scared, I laugh. I don't scream, I don't cry, I don't flinch, I just laugh.
That's because you go into denial.
So I started giggling. The whole movie I was giggling. I was hiding behind my press sheets and I was like, scared the whole time.
Yeesh. Press sheets? You bring sheets to the movies?
Press sheets. Yes, I bring sheets to the movies so I can be comfortable in the movie theater.
My Tempur-Pedic pillow with me.
Wouldn't that be nice? Just
That'd be really
just
nice.
lay back.
And now they have like lounge chairs now. Yeah,
I fall asleep in those movies. You pay $20 to go and fall asleep.
Yeah, that's true.
No, it's like just like a packet of just facts about the actor, the director,
Oh.
and synopsis and whatnot.
Oh, because you go to like special screenings.
Just to press screenings. They're not special.
Right. Oh, press sheet.
Press sheets.
I was thinking of actual sheet. Okay.
Pressed sheets.
I don't really get invited to press screenings, Wendy. I mean, we'd like to.
Hint. Huh?
It's not really.
Movie studios, pay attention to this guy right
Yeah,
here.
please.
Send us some invites.
Please, movies cost a lot of money. So my number 6 choice is another comedy that I didn't see in the theaters, but I eventually watched it on DVD. Neighbors 2: Sorority Rising. Did you see this?
I did.
Did you not like it?
I liked it. It just didn't make the list. I like the
Okay.
first one better.
Okay. Yeah, that's fair. That's totally fair. I think the first one's overall a better movie. But this one, I thought was still hysterical. I thought Zac Efron was really fucking funny. Like this,
Yeah.
that's another thing about like an actor who was like, as I know after he came off High School Musical, was trying to do like more dramatic work. But when he did Neighbors, I felt like a lot of like guys just started respecting him.
Yeah.
Because he was like genuinely really fucking funny in the film. And I think he's hysterical in this film, seeing that guy caught up in the past. Seth Rogen and Rose Byrne. I loved all the parental themes they explored with them. Their kind of parenting is really based on like psychological, neglectful behavior. And it like parents in real life, they just don't realize when they're being bad parents. But you can still see it at like the heart, and I loved how to explore the themes of sexism, and it was, I thought it was a very witty film. It's more ridiculous, it's much more like surreal, a little bit more zany and cartoony.
Yep.
So it's not as grounded in reality, but I still thought it was a hilarious time.
And the only reason why it's not even on my top 10, it's because I felt like they recycled a lot of the same jokes from the first movie.
That's fair. There's a recycled premise for sure.
Yeah, but I still had a good time. I had a lot of good chuckles in this film, and I love seeing Rose Byrne and Seth Rogen kind of freak out while they're parenting and while trying to keep their voices hushed because the baby was sleeping. In this like frantic chaos, they were so funny.
But that last moment when that last scene they have with their child when they're in the bed and they're crying, I start tearing up a little bit.
Did you?
Yeah, parenting stuff gets to me like that.
Aww.
John and I thought of a Neighbors movie idea where it would be Neighbors, like the same movie, but on Halloween.
Oh my god.
Like Neighbors 3, Trick or Treat or something.
Would it be like their teenage daughter, old enough now, to go out for her first Halloween and she wants to wear more skin showing type
You're right.
outfits,
Oh, we can
and them
explore
trying
that.
to parent, trying to parent her out of that.
Bring Wendy and I on movie fights.
You're welcome, Hollywood.
Pitch Neighbors 3.
I wouldn't last a second on movie fights.
You don't think so? It's kind of nerve-wracking. It's
Yes.
live, everyone's live.
intimidating,
Yeah, it's
yeah,
pretty
no
intimidating.
For my number 6, which was your number 10, Finding Dory.
Oh, okay. Wow, much higher than the
Yeah,
list.
much higher. I have a soft spot for Disney and animation, and I feel like I'm basically a child at heart. I never grew up, so cue the kids.
The dying kids
It's
outside.
Perfect. It's perfect. It's meant to be. I especially love when Dory found the shells, and to know that her parents were still looking for her. That brought a tear to my eyes.
Oh, did it? Mm-hmm. Oh, I think I cried in that movie.
So cute.
I tend to cry at movies.
No shame.
Yeah, nothing, no biggie. Not a pussy. So my number 5 choice was a cool little horror flick called Don't Breathe. Don't Breathe was an exciting film. It was tense. It was fucking nerve-wracking. It was awesomely shot. Jane Levy, I thought, gave a great performance. I love any role where they start off as like, this person's definitely not likable and they haven't done anything redeeming so far. So other than the fact that she's a nice older sister, that's like the only redeeming quality she has at first. It's one of those movies that knows how to flip. The way how I felt about The Devil's Rejects was they take the villains and then they like flip it where they're not really the bad guys by the end. And same thing with Don't Breathe. It's like Stephen Lang was really scary. There were times where he kind of just suddenly appears, but I felt like Fede Alvarez really knew how to toy with his audience. I felt like the script was so carefully woven that they were able to really structure everything out perfectly. Like, well, people might say, why don't they do this? Why don't they do this one? And they would go for it, and they would establish why they can or can't do that, you know?
My number 5 is The Nice Guys.
Oh, that's on my list.
Yeah,
It's coming up, guys.
The Nice Guys.
Nice Guys.
Shane
Oh, I
Black.
love that
Shane
movie.
Black,
I
right?
love that movie, yeah.
Oh, it was so good, and it was one of my most anticipated movie of 2016 because amongst all these like reboots and remakes, I wanted something original. And when I saw the trailer, I was like, this is gonna be it.
Yeah.
This is gonna be my top favorite movie of the year. Hence, it made number 5.
So my number 4 choice is Lights Out, actually. It's high up there. I really like Lights Out. It was one of the most fun times I had at the theaters because it was such a nice surprise for horror movies because it starts off in a way where it's like you think, a lot of time you think you kind of know how things are gonna go. It seems like this is gonna be generic. This is gonna be obvious. And I love that. I love a film, same thing with Don't Breathe. I love a film where the director is aware of what his audience would be thinking and knows how to pull a twist on it and knows how to pull something fresh to it. I thought the storyline of Maria Bello and the Ghost was very well done and very different. It was such a simple concept of the lights go out and that's when she appears. It's so simple, but it's so fucking terrifying and it's executed so well. And yeah, actually the night when I did come home, I do remember being very scared.
Just a little bit. You feel
like
just
you can't help but kind of like just look a little like.
Or you just you don't want to look. And I have to say too, the boyfriend in the film, wow, he's like the MVP of the
he's
movie.
all my notes in here. Yeah,
Yes.
the boyfriend in the film, Alexander de Persia as Brent. He was such a nice surprise because he starts off. My first thought, right when you see him, I'm not going to say what his outcome is in the film, but right when I saw him, I'm like, oh, he's the boyfriend that we're supposed to kind of like, and then he'll get killed off.
Same.
The stuff they do with this character, they made him very
so
likable.
Yeah, 100%. I was like, all right. I like the movie as a whole. For my number 4, it's actually Don't Breathe.
Nice.
And when we recently had Stephen Lang in studio, and I went to shake his hand because, hello, Stephen Lang, and he's like, oh, you can call me Slang.
That's cool.
I was like, all right, Slang.
Did you talk about the turkey baster scene? Did you just bring it up with him?
I didn't. I kind of wanted to ask.
Did you bring your turkey baster with you?
Man, that movie, wow, talk about not wanting to breathe during the movie, especially in the basement when the actors were left in complete pitch dark.
Yeah.
I couldn't take it in my heart. I was hiding once again behind my press notes.
I really love that they didn't do night vision for that.
Thank God, right? It's different. It's better.
Yeah, because it's like it makes the audience kind of look to like what's exactly going on too.
So you kind of get fully invested in it just to kind of.
You're somewhat not seeing what's going on too. You know?
Yes.
My number 3 now is The Conjuring Part Dos. Conjuring 1, I really did enjoy. I thought it was a really well-made film, but I didn't love it as much as everyone else did. Conjuring 2, though, I really, really, really enjoyed. It's more of a straight-up horror film than the first one was, but I thought it improved upon the first one. There are more scares, and I thought you really get to see James Wan get even more clever with his trickery of the camera. Not only does he do cool camera angles, like the way the film's edited, the way everything's shot and everything's framed, perfectly done. The little girl in the movie, Madison Wolfe, is the little girl who gets possessed, and I thought she was so fucking good. It's so nice seeing it. What I like too was that this is an American film that took place in London. They got like real British people to play this British family. Everyone felt so authentic. I love where they're going with the Warrens, and they actually put the Warrens in danger this time. Yeah, I just thought it was a really well crafted film, and it was also really fun, really suspenseful, and it also has more of the James Wan, like some Insidious vibes in there too, that I felt like The Conjuring didn't need, but I like seeing it in The Conjuring too.
I almost want to say that the sequel in the Conjuring series, the sequel is better than the original.
Yeah.
At least in my opinion.
I would say that too, in my opinion, as well. Yes. In our opinion.
In our collective.
That doesn't have to be yours,
opinion.
it's just ours.
Just ours. Sorry, not sorry. All right, for my number 3, it's Captain America: Civil War.
Nice.
Yes, I had to put a Marvel movie in there because y'all know how much I like Disney and Marvel. You know, sometimes I call it the Avengers 2.5.
Yeah.
Because it kind of feels like it, but that airport scene though.
The airport scene's fucking fantastic.
Airport scene's fantastic. The stunt fighting is fantastic. Seeing Spider-Man is just mind-blowing. And I also had a chance to go and hang out with the stunt guys that was in the movie. And I did a quick little fight with the stunt double for Hawkeye.
Nice.
So that's kind of cool. It's on the Collider channel.
You did a fight?
I did a fight. I'll show it to you after. It was a lot of fun. It was a lot of fun and just... You know, really appreciate these guys working hard.
I get what's happening now. You're not really putting Captain America on there. You're just promoting another Collider video. That's
But I didn't even tell them which video it was.
What's it called?
It was in part of movie talk, and I can't remember which one it was.
Well, you guys comment below and find it for her.
Timestamp that.
So my number 2 is actually The Nice Guys. If I had to list my favorite films so far that have come out this year, like I saw La La Land early. So that's currently my number 1 favorite film. For sure right now, Nice Guys is number 2. Meaning, from all the films that have been released, Nice Guys is my number 1 favorite. But in terms of the summer movies, I would say it's number 2. I hope that makes sense. Anyway, I've seen it twice now. I think it's the most witty script of the year. I think that Ryan Gosling is so hilarious in this movie. And I love it when he gets a chance to really showcase his comedy skills. Because we know him more as a serious actor. But like Lars and the Real Girl, he's really funny. And he's really funny in Crazy Stupid Love. And I thought he was hilarious in this film. And it's a different kind of character too. Because he's not strong. He's kind of a wimp.
Yep.
And he really does get scared easily.
Yeah.
And like... He's neurotic, he's a drunk. I thought he was a really funny character. I was talking with John about this. I can't think of another film Russell Crowe did that was a comedy. I know he did like some weird romantic comedy that Ridley Scott directed, but this is like a straight up comedy.
Comedy, yeah, it's been a while.
And I thought him and Ryan Gosling had some of the best chemistry of the year. The second time I watched it, I got more from it because you realize that there's not one wasted line of dialogue in that film. Everything they say that sometimes seems like a throwaway or not that important eventually comes back to serve a purpose. Even if it's just a joke at first, it comes back to serve a purpose. I thought it was very clever.
And I love the little girl in the film too, and she had zero faith in her father.
Yeah.
That also added to the comedy a lot.
Yeah, definitely. My bad dad, and then she drives off in the car.
Were you the man that beat up my dad? And she said it so matter of fact. Oh, I can't wait to see more from her. For me, my number 2 is Hell or High Water.
I
Ben
am
Foster
one of the few who have not seen
Chris
that movie.
Pines, you gotta go see it, you guys. It's so good. And I know some people are calling it a Western. I guess it's kind of like a modern Western set in Texas. It was so hard for me to not put it in the number 1 spot. Just because the dialogue, the story, and the human relationship you have in this movie, it's so deep. And the way the story unravels, these two brothers, and it's a bank heist movie, but it's so much more than that.
Is it violent?
Very.
Oh, I really
And it's good. It's
Anytime
a
I hear
good
violence, I'm like, I want to watch it for
It's
some
a
reason.
good
It intrigues
violent.
me.
Yeah.
I'm one of those.
And not
market
unnecessary.
comments.
You know how there's movies that's
Yeah.
like unnecessarily gory? The violence and the blood, it all has a purpose and it has a point. So it's not overly done, but it goes
That's
to,
cool to
it
hear.
makes a point.
That's really cool to hear.
I love it.
I feel like I don't hear that enough about actual violence in movies. My number 1 choice is her number 3 choice, Captain America: Civil War. In terms of summer movies, this movie was the ultimate summer movie. I mean, there was a lot of hype built around it. Like, could they do it? Of course they could do it. But I thought it did more than than what the Avengers did. The Avengers delivered on the humanity and the humor, and everyone knows why the Avengers is great. But Captain America: Civil War managed to bring in interesting drama inside of this movie with a nice touch of humor throughout. It's not like a comedy, but there is humor throughout. The way they rebooted Spider-Man was brilliantly done. It was their most personal film.
Yeah.
Usually, especially when you get Avengers 2.5 together, you're expecting just chaos throughout. But even though there's chaotic moments, it's still a very personal film. Even though you could argue some fight scenes may not be the most necessary. Technically, the airport fight scene, I've seen it twice. It's not really a necessary fight in the movie. But it doesn't matter at that point.
It looks amazing.
It looks fucking amazing, and it made enough sense at the moment for it to occur, And
Just gonna have a throwdown in the
yeah,
airport.
exactly. I mean, the appearance of Giant Man was awesome. It was the best use of cameos, and I really love what they did with Tony Stark. It was the most emotional performance we got of him. Despite what you might say about Iron Man 2, I preferred his emotional Tony Stark in this one much more. They still managed to make it a Captain America film while still providing this huge cast of characters. So Captain America's never fully outshined in any capacity. Even though there's some scene stealers, he's not outshined, if you get what I mean. Black Panther, like, they managed to introduce characters,
so
bring
good.
characters together. They made, this was their best full-blown MCU film I think they've done. I think it's better than Avengers and Age of Ultron as well.
Definitely better than Age of Ultron.
Yeah, for sure.
I was worried about Black Panther because he's never even had a standalone movie like some of these characters have. So I was like, how are they going to even introduce his background, who he is, and have it all fit and not make it sound like they're just shoving everything into the movie? But they didn't. No,
like, hate to say this, DC fans, but everything BVS that a lot of people didn't like, Captain America got right. Then that's just the way it works.
Yeah, we're not complaining. We're not comparing. We're just explaining.
It's just a way to use another movie as an example.
Yes. For my number one, I have Kubel and the Two Strings. Did you get to see it?
I'm the biggest Kubo and the Two Strings fan.
Yay.
That's why I made my list.
You hated it. Is it because
I didn't
of
watch
the?
it, actually.
Oh, okay, gotcha. I was like, you hated it. I love the stop motion animation. I think that's kind of a dying art. And props to Leica Studio, because I know it takes them, I think, like 5 years to put the whole film together. And this movie, when you're watching it, you forget that you're watching stop motion. It looks real life, and just how real, from a piece of hair moving in the wind to a leaf blowing to mixing the art of origami into this film.
Wow.
Everything was seamless, along with the music and the voice talents. I mean, 100% love this movie.
You've like made me want to watch it, actually.
You gotta go see it.
I haven't seen a good stop motion film since Chicken Run.
I don't think I saw it.
You haven't seen Chicken Run? Mel Gibson voices one of the chickens. It's awesome.
Oh, I gotta watch it. I gotta check it out.
But no, because I was thinking, like, what was the last one I watched? And I did feel that way. Like, when I saw the trailer for Chicken Run, I remember thinking, I don't think I can sit through a stop motion.
Right. A lot
but
of people
then you
say
get
that.
pulled into it, and then you forget you're watching stop motion.
Oh, sometimes people just gotta give stop motion a chance.
Yeah, bring stop motion back. And silent films.
I don't know if I want silent films.
We all want silent films. That's what all the kids on YouTube want.
So we can all read better.
Read?
Silent film. They have subtitles in the silent films.
Oh, that sounds horrible. I'm totally joking. I thought it was just silent.
That could be fun. You can make up your own dialogue and just comment through the whole movie.
But I want the dialogue to be very necessary, but you just can't hear it the whole time. All right, guys. Well, that is our top 10 favorite movies of the summer of 2016. There's got to be a shorter way of saying that. I'm Greg. Subscribe to The Real Rejects. Become a reject today. Wendy is part of Collider Videos and has her own channel, The Movie Couple, where she has a lot of movie talk on there as well. So go check her out on both of those channels. She is a celebrity in my eyes.
You make me feel good about myself.
And John's best friend. They're best friends.
I went to visit him at Halloween Horror Nights. John's scary at Halloween Horror Nights. He's scary.
He's that guy who does illegal things to you.
Scary. Oh my God.
Yeah, I know. No, I don't do that.